If 2021 has taught us anything as small business owners, it's that social media is a powerful tool that has the capacity to help us grow our sales and increase our reach. And also that we can't get away with just doing the bare minimum anymore. Instagram by itself feels like a full-time job. So if you're wondering how in the world you are going to run a business and manage your social media in 2022 so that it truly benefits and grows your business, well then keep watching, because in this video I'll walk you through a really simple process that you can use. Hi y'all, I'm Vivian Walton, the seasoned marketer, and I share marketing tips, tools, and tactics with resourceful business owners. Okay, so before I walk through the process that I recommend to help you manage your social media in 2022, I want to outline the purpose of this process. There are 4 key elements that we look for whenever we are talking about staying engaged and on top of our social media. Consistency. There are several reasons that we want to create consistency in our posting, no matter what social media platform we are using. First and foremost, we want to give our current followers or audience a reason to keep coming back and engaging with our profiles. Secondly, we want to attract new followers or a new audience. And the only way that we're able to really do that is to be sure that we are putting more information, new information out there about our business, our products, or our services. And then lastly, we also want to get in the habit of being able to create content quickly. And the more we do that and the more consistent we are with it, the easier it gets. I mean, for example, if you remember the first time you shot a reel, you probably were just uncomfortable with the entire process. And so therefore it took you a lot longer to pump a reel out. Whereas now, if you're creating reels consistently week after week, well, you get a lot more efficient at the process. And so those are the main reasons that you are wanting to consistently show up. This process will allow you to do that. Pre-scheduling. We want to pre-schedule some of our content or posts simply because it will help us in the long run to stay consistent and also to alleviate some of that pressure that we may feel of, coming up with content on the fly all the time. Flexibility. Flexibility is really important because we don't just want to pre-schedule all of our content, not be able to take advantage of some of the trends that we see popping up. So for example, if you want to create a reel with a trending song that you know is going to garner you a lot of views, well then you should be able to do that, and you want the flexibility to integrate that reel into the content that you are already pre-scheduled to post. We're looking for a healthy balance of pre-scheduling posts so that we can keep our consistency, but then also being able to post on a whim so that we can take advantage of some of these trends and also maybe content or topics that are relevant at the time to our audience. Logging our content. Logging our content or tracking it will allow us to later mine it so that we can repurpose information in different formats. Trust me, this is a big one because it will save you your sanity and a whole lot of time. All right, so now that we know what the process will do for us, let's talk about the actual process. Step number 1, create a spreadsheet. I labeled mine Instagram Planning 2022. Now, the thing is, I'm going to use it for Facebook and YouTube and other platforms that I'm on. The reason I labeled it Instagram Planning, though, is because Instagram, for me, is the most difficult platform, or the most, demanding platform. So I want to be sure that if I plan for Instagram, I know that I can repurpose all this content onto Facebook and also to YouTube on the community tab for the channel, but I stylize it a little differently, and I may also change the verbiage just a tad. So this is my starting off point, and then from there I utilize all of the content that I plan out here in the spreadsheet. Step number 2, label your columns. I'm going to walk you through the labels that I chose for my columns. However, remember that you can customize these as you wish. So to put this into context, every Monday I share a marketing video, and so I have created consistency with releasing new content every Monday, and those are big days for me. So a lot of what I am wanting to track on here is going to be centered around that Monday and that marketing topic that I am sharing for that particular week. So from left to right, what I've chosen to label my columns are a blank column, so I can label my Mondays here. I don't really want to label any of the other days of the week, so just Mondays are going to stick out, and I'm just going to identify those. Date, so that I can plan which days I want to post. I'm not going to do this too far in advance. What works best for me is doing it on a monthly basis because it does help to alleviate some of that pressure, but then I get overwhelmed if I try to do this for, let's say, on a quarterly basis. That's just too much thinking ahead for me. So I keep it in manageable bites, which is being able to plan ahead at least a month in advance. Topic. This allows me to outline and plan what type of content I want to be sharing with my audience. Type. This refers to what type of content I'm creating. I categorize them by static image, video, reel, carousel post, and story. One of the reasons I want to include this information is that, as we know, Instagram is really helping to support profiles that share a mix of different types of content. They want us to use stories, videos, reels, carousel posts. And so tracking this will help me ensure that I'm mixing it up, and not only that, but will make it easy for me to go back and look at what content I can repurpose in a different format. So for example, I shared a static image that had information on website stats that you should be tracking. Well, I can easily repurpose this information into a reel down the road. Y'all, I'm really trying to work smarter and not harder here. Step number 3, start filling in your sheet with content. If you really don't know where to start, my recommendation is that you pick a big piece of content that you happen to share. So for example, what I mean by that is every Monday I share a new marketing video. So I'm going to outline my Mondays because those are really the most important things that are attracting new followers to my accounts. And so what I'll do is I'll go in and select the topics for every Monday within that month. And then I also from there know that every Sunday, the day before, I share a animated video. Now that animated video is really just graphics and text that appear, and it tells my followers what topic I'm going to be covering the next day. This has been extremely effective for me because what I do is I'll upload that animated video and then I share it amongst the Facebook groups that I'm a part of. It's a teaser telling them what the topic will be tomorrow, and so then they know whether or not they want to tune into tomorrow's video. So now I have my Sundays and my Mondays of that week completed. I also know that I want to pepper in different formats of content. For example, reels, carousel posts that are shareable, and static images that will maybe be a little more personable. So I can share an image of, my family, my dog, or something that makes me a little more relatable to my audience. Now, I'm about to add another layer to this. Once the spreadsheet starts to come together, I may not have all of the components at once. So for example, I may know the topic and I may have an idea of what I want the graphic to look like, but I may not know exactly what verbiage I want to use in the post quite yet. I go into Canva and I actually start to create as much of the graphics or videos that I can that I've laid out. And part of the reason I'm doing this is because then I'm going to use a template that I have in Canva that mimics my Instagram feed. And I'm going to upload those photos or those images into that feed. Part of the reason I'm doing this is because I realized one day when I was looking through my Instagram feed that it was all over the place and I had really a very not aesthetically pleasing Instagram feed, and so I wanted to change that. So it allows me to create consistency with my branding, and also it allows someone who is scrolling through my Instagram feed to see what types of content is similar. So for example, I have a template that I use for all of the statistics that I share. I also have a carousel post template that I use for information that they can share with people they know. I started to create a little more consistency with the aesthetics. On top of that, it's also a really great way for me to visually see that I am sharing different formats of content. I don't want to get stuck just sharing all photos and not enough video. I also don't want to get stuck sharing 7 reels in a row and not adding any other type of content in there. And so what I'm doing is I'm visually going through and making sure that my Instagram feed has a little bit of everything in there because I know Instagram likes that. If that's a part of the process that you're interested in learning more about, how I'm creating this template in Canva and how I'm using it to really lay out my monthly Instagram post, then be sure to subscribe to my channel or follow my account so that way you can get a notification. I do plan on creating a video about that in particular down the road. Step number 4, pre-schedule any posts that you can. If you notice, I've gone into my Facebook Creator Studio and have scheduled the ones that I want on Facebook and Instagram. So I don't have to worry about those anymore. Now, I know that I have content that will automatically be shared, but still have the flexibility to create content on a whim when I want or when I need to. All right, so that's the process. Let me know in the comments below if you found this video to be useful or if you think this process is just too overwhelming and not something that you would even consider trying. As with anything else, remember that you can really customize this to fit your needs so that you are tracking the information that you want and also so that you are organizing it in whatever way you find most suitable for the industry that you're in. If you like this video, remember that every Monday I release a video just like this that could help you save time and money when it comes to marketing your small business. Also, don't forget that I have a website at www.thesseasonedmarketer.com where I have a couple freebies that you can download here today, so go check that out. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll catch you guys next week, same time and place.